What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Farmer on the Prairie. Sorry, my voice is a little bit gone today, but we are going to be doing work here in the shop. 9150 needs some help. I've started disassembling the tractor, and we are now going to be splitting it so that we can replace all the pivots, all the articulating pivots on the tractor. I got a buddy coming here in a few minutes. Right now I'm going to go cut a bunch of blocks to set the front of the tractor on to make sure that it doesn't tip forward. And then once I have those blocks cut, we're going to put them underneath there, and then we're going to try pulling the top link out. And we got these bridge planks here, and I'm going to be cutting them up. All right, y'all, so my buddy Dayton's helping me out. He is a character, as you'll see once he gets rid of his being camera shy. But anyhow, we built a tower in front of the tractor, a literal tower.
More like Jenga tower.
And we're gonna be putting a jack there now. Once we get the jack in there, then we're going to start driving the pivots apart on the tractor. I'm gonna be here jacking on this tractor for quite some time.
So I gotta drive this pin out here on this cylinder, and then we'll be able to move this cylinder out. It's giving me a fight earlier, so this might not do it, but we'll see. This thing don't want to move. Plans have changed. We're going to try and get a lot of pressure on that and then hammer on the side of this to break it free. So once we get it broke free, we can drive it out with the hammer. Hopefully don't take the whole tractor off the ground, but I have a feeling that's what we're going to do. Yeah, buddy! Got her. Did you just see that?
So after using a jack, pushing up on it, and then hammering right here like 3 different times, we finally got the pin out. Now we're gonna pull the cylinder out and finish removing the pin the rest of the way. Okay, so we're using this little ram here to try and push that pin out. But this ram only has the stroke of about, what would you say, a 1/2 inch?
If that, yeah.
So we have to get it put in there exactly how it's got to be in order for us to utilize enough pressure to try and pop the pin out. So I got to go get a thicker nut to try our best to get that thing to start pushing out. Time for the flame wrench. I'll start jacking and we start whacking. So me and Dayton got defeated by the pins on the tractor. but I will figure out a way. I don't care if it's going and buying a massive drill bit and drilling them out. They will come out, but for tonight, we're done. We're gonna go eat some sweet fajitas, and homemade fajitas, I should say. And I'll be back tomorrow, probably beating my head against this tractor tire. So I'll see you then. All right, y'all, so we're back at John's here for another day of work on the Steiger. I looked up some videos last night, found somebody who took one of these things apart, and what they actually ended up having to do, which is what I'm gonna have to do, is they went and they took a torch and they cut there and they cut there. The whole way through everything, completely cut it out. I am just gonna start with that today because we did not get those pins to budge with like 40,000 pounds of force yesterday. I got it cut halfway through. I called Luke. He's gonna come and finish cutting that because he's better with the torch than I am. I'm gonna pull the drawbar out right now. I pulled the pin on the center of the pivot, and we're gonna get this somewhere. Got that pin pulled out, these cylinders off. So then we've just gotta cut here, there, and finish cutting on the back once I pull the drawbar out. It is another day again. We're back here working on this tractor again. I think this is day number 3 of this project. Turns out you need a number 7 tip on your torch to be able to cut through the pin in the back here, but we cut through that pin. My last thing I got to do before we separate the tractor today is I need to cut this pin up here as well. Cut down here and then up there. We have enough slack in all the lines that we can slide this thing apart about 8 inches, start working on rebuilding the pivot. So I knew this was gonna be a big undertaking when I started, and it's proving to be quite the undertaking. So we're getting close to having it apart though then, and who knows how much work it'll be once it's apart, but we'll see. This bar here is completely free. We're gonna pull this apart, pull the skid steer in here, and get to it. So we have those straps running everywhere back there, and then underneath here I have this 10-ton floor jack a little ways away from the frame, and then so that's just a safety. And then once we get it back, we're going to take another bottle jack and put it up underneath the frame to hold it till we put it back together. We have the tractor pulled apart far enough to do what we need to do. It's fairly stable. We'll pull this top link out. It's getting held up by the strap right now. We'll pull the top link out when we start working on this again. Well, then I'm gonna have to blow with the torch all that slag out and then push these pins out of there. And then we've got to work on that uniball down there and figure out why that's so wallered out. We're off to a good start, I'd say. All right, everybody. It has been 3 weeks now since I recorded anything on the 4-wheel drive. I got into doing a little bit here, a little bit there, and just didn't have time to record it. But the good news is the tractor is back together. We pushed it back together after I torched everything. I literally had to torch every piece on this tractor out. Got it all rebuilt, back together. That is torqued down. All of this is put back together. The final piece of the puzzle is this steering cylinder. The pin got worn out on the front, so we had to mill this out, put new bushings in. That's nice and tight now. We already did the one on the other side a week ago. I got that one put in. This one just got done recently. I'm gonna pull the, or put the cylinder back in, and she should be good to go. Just got the cylinder put back in here. Got everything tightened down. All the nuts tightened down. The snap rings on the bottom of these pins, all the spacers are in. So this thing is ready to roll now. I'm gonna clean up around it. We're gonna reconnect the grounds and the batteries. I'm gonna check the oil and we're gonna fire it up. Back it out. We're gonna get rid of all the blocks and everything, sweep up the floor, and this project will officially be done. And then this tractor has 2 more things that need done to it before spring. I need to work on the hydraulic controls a little bit, and I also need to rebuild the brake because that is pretty worn out. So a few things to be done on it and she'll be running like a top. I've double checked almost everything. The fuel supply is back on. So now I'm going to try firing the tractor up, see if she can start up after like sitting still for a month. Unbelievable. It cranked a half crank. Okay, so I've been driving around for a couple minutes now, and everything feels nice and tight. Feels pretty good. Finished driving the tractor around, put it back in the shed here, and the good news is this tractor drives completely different. You do not feel any movement when you downshift or upshift gears, and when you turn, the tires no longer rub. I did not realize that the steering rams were that worn. When I turn now, there's about 2.5 inches between the tires. So, all in all, that was very well worth it. It was a lot of work, but very well worth it. This thing is all completely reassembled and will hopefully be good for another, I don't know, 4,000 hours. If we still had the tractor by then, I'm not sure I would let it get that bad because it was pretty bad.